40 years of developing hockey players from youth to the pros, Minnesota Hockey Camps has a player development program for you. Located in Breezy Point, Minnesota, our professionally coached on-ice development sessions, off-ice speed training, weight room sessions, stick handling sessions, shooting skill sessions are the right program for you. MHC takes great pride in its tradition with developing NHL players like Chris Stewart, Ryan Bugsy Malone, Scotty Hartnell, and TJ Oshie. Our dedicated staff is ready for you. Come check us out at MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Sign up for your chance to become the player you've always wanted to be. Hashtag who will be next.
Cold showers, leaking pipes, furnace giving you the chills? Look no further. At Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, we've got you covered. From expert plumbing solutions to HVAC magic and all sheet metal work, we are your one-stop shop for comfort and reliability. Professional service from a team that cares. Say goodbye to household woes and hello to peace of mind. Call Iron Range Plumbing and Heating today and feel the difference.
At Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, we have the trucks. Over 47 new Silverados and Sierras sitting currently on the lot with more to come. We have all the options: LT, RST, LTZ, High Countries, ZR2s. We have heavy duties. We have Sierra, SLT, Elevations, Denali's. We are equipped for the truck you are looking for. With great rebates currently, with up to $12,500 off on select models, now would be a great time to take advantage of savings and get yourself into a new truck today. Grand Rapids GM in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Welcome everybody to the Tea with Ms McGill Show, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday edition. Presented once again by our friends over at Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. Christmas is here, Hanukkah's here, that special gift. Why don't you get a room up at the Bay for that special somebody? Why don't you bring somebody up to the Bay? I think Grandma and Grandpa, they used to love, I used to have buddies, they'd bring up Grandma and Grandpa up during the day. So make the day trip, whatever it is. Make plans right now to visit Fortune Bay Resort and Casino on beautiful Lake Vermilion. Fortune Bay offers 172 rooms in a smoke-free resort, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, a bar, and of course 24/7 gaming. Visit fortunebay.com for more details and plan your trip right now to visit the Bay. And of course, live music, New Year's Eve from 10 to 1. I think they're even doing a champagne toast around midnight. You can check out Fortune Bay on Facebook for more details. All right, it is Puka speaking. It is the star of the show, Coach Reed Larson. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas, brother.
So we hit week 6 of the boys' high school hockey season, episode 97. And how we doing? Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we're right there. It almost feels like the midway point in the season, but we're not quite to that point yet. We're only 6 weeks in. But it always feels that midway point when you get to Christmas break and Christmas holiday. Kids are off of school. Teachers have a little bit of a break, but there's no break from the game, only a couple of days. A little Christmas Eve off, a little Christmas Day. Actually, Christmas Eve practice here today for a little bit of fun, small area games and stuff like that, and get moving around and not get too rusty. But we're getting into probably close to the dog days. I know sometimes the dog days start early for many. The bumps and the bruises are coming up with teams. That mid-season kind of lull hits. But there's a lot going on in high school hockey right now that we get a chance to talk about here today.
Well, as you're talking, here's the big question, those small area games. Is it going to be Coach Larson, Coach Chido, Grant Clafton versus some of the seniors?
Well,
are we going to see that today? Are we going to see on the ice?
We probably could pull it off if Coach Wagner is going to make sure he's there.
Coach Wagner.
Yeah, because then we got some.
You got a sub too. Yeah.
Well, sure, yeah, we know. We could have those guys on the back end, Grant, and could have Grant and Wags on the back end playing defense. But we probably have to reel in a little bit of help. It's always one phone call away to get Avery Peterson to come in.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
We could really dial it up and scare the crud out of our high school kids. No, we don't. I don't get too involved in playing anymore. I know you guys do your old man stuff, but I never did strap on the old man's gear and play because I feel like I'm way too competitive and my body doesn't allow me to do what I expect it to do, if I try to, I'm going to hurt myself. So I stand in the background and just shoot pucks. That's what I do.
All right, hey, it's a lot of work. I agree. So yeah, it's getting worse where your body knows or your mind knows what it wants to do, but your body can't do it. Or it tells it and it hesitates and it can't do it.
Yeah, my body's not capable anymore, and it never really was all that capable. I still was kind of trying to push through kind of guy, even when I played college hockey. Like, I wasn't the skilled guy. I was the guy who had to work harder than everybody else in order to be effective. Well, now I can work really hard, but my body says no. Yeah. My mind says yes, but my body says no.
Yeah. All right, just one day away, of course, Christmas. So once again, merch, tees, caps, visors, hoodies, 2 items or more will ship for free. So it's $20 for a tee, $25 for a double XL tees or larger, $45 for a hoodie, and $20 for caps. So like I said, Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com. You get hold of Read or I, we Cash App, Venmo, all that good stuff. Like I said, if you buy 2 or more items, we will ship it for free. Obviously, we're not going to get there by Christmas, but some of you are going to continue the holiday celebrations for the next week or 10 days or so we can get you hooked up with some cool Tea with Ms McGill merch. Subscribers this week: 226 B. Schmitz, Abraham Abbas, and King Promoter number 3. So be just like these fine folks and subscribe to America's fastest growing hockey podcast today. Last week I had said we're looking for that 400th Facebook follower. Well, one of these fine folks was a Facebook follower, so now we're up to 397. We're still 3 short. And on YouTube, we're pushing for 200 last week. We added one more, one of these fine folks. So now we're up to 196. So we're still 3 away from the 400th on Facebook, 4 away from the 200th on YouTube. So who will it be? Will we get it done in 2024? We sure hope so. So if you could please subscribe right now, hit the thumbs up button. We'd appreciate that. And like I said last week, the 400th Facebook follower and the 200th YouTube follower could be the same person if they're crafty enough.
If they're crafty.
Yeah.
Get after the click button. Let's see what you get.
Totally. All right. Hammer the follow button. Let's get you up into our game of the week presented by the Ring Sports Bar and Grill. We've been talking about the gift card.
Yeah, that's the no-brainer card.
That's the no-brainer. Yeah.
Get it.
If you're in the Quad Cities, why would you not want a free $20? So go have the best fish fry in the Quad Cities. My brother...
Stocking stuffer
gift. So my brother picked this card up for me as a stocking stuffer gift, and because he was at the fish fry last Friday, said it hasn't changed, still the best. So there's your gift card. Today is the last day. Christmas Eve is your last day to get a Ring Sports Bar and Grill gift card. So get there today. Buy 100, get $20 free. Buy 100, get $20 free. Like Coach Larson said, it is the no-brainer.
It's kind of one of those things where it's really difficult to not spend $100 when you go there, especially if you're bringing 18 kids like you bring when you go places. And if you want to have or if you're even going with a couple of guys or a few pairs of couples that are going there, and you're buying, and it's easy to have a burger and a couple of cocktails or a couple of drinks, and you're over $100, and here's some money back.
Right. Oh, 100%. Like, it is the no-brainer. You coined the term, and it is the best way to define it. 248-8582, Michelle at the Ring Sports Bar and Grill. Get down there and tell her the Tea with Ms McGill Show sent you. All right, we're going to get into it here. Chisholm Hibbing visited Orono on Friday. I kind of covered this one, just some highlights here. It reminded me a lot of the Rockridge Little Falls game the week before, where I didn't think Rockridge was going to lose, and of course they did. This one got a little bit ugly for Hibbing. Orono got all of their goals on fast breaks and had a lot of time penetrating the zone. They had a breakaway. As a matter of fact, one of their goals went off, bounced, ricocheted off of 2 Hibbing defensemen. Hit a shin pad, went over, hit a skate, flex in, so a little bit of luck there. Orono had some sustained pressure towards the end of the second. They threw some shots out, but that was kind of it. It was 2-1 Orono after Tyler Roxy got a goal for Chisholm Hibbing. So 2-1 after 2. 4-1 late in the third. Hibbing calls a timeout, pull the goalie. Benny Galley pops one. It's 4-2. They're kind of back in the game. About 3.5-ish minutes to go. Continue. Okay, face off center ice. Hibbing dumps it down. You know, they're buzzing. Orno blocks a shot on the point, goes on, gets the empty netter. They actually get another goal. They had another goal after the empty netter to make it 6-2. So they had a 4-goal third period there. Orno did. Shots 34-33 in favor of Orno. Penalties dead even, 4 each for 8 minutes. Again, it didn't feel like the stats. It didn't feel territorially like it was a 6-2 game. And if anything, it felt like it should have been a Chisholm-Hibbing 6-2 victory. Just like I said last week, it felt like Rock Ridge should have won 4-1 over Little Falls instead of the other way. So kind of again, like I said last week about Rock Ridge, kind of a bad loss, and I feel kind of the same way about this one.
Yeah, and it looks worse on paper than it actually is. But I feel the pain of coach and coaching staff there, Jammer and the crew. Just sometimes you just don't get any puck luck. Sometimes you're working or you're hitting kind of a week of tired and trying to grind through a couple things like illnesses and bumps and bruises, and just doesn't seem to go your way. But the score didn't seem as though it was what the game actually was. Like they probably were still battling through stuff, empty netter, things like that. It probably ended up like that, real similar to maybe some of the things that happened down in Edina, which we'll talk about. It just, not everything falls into place. And like you said, it looks like a bad loss, but Orno is actually still rated in the top of the state for single A. So I know Hibbing is looking at, a number 3 rating in the state, and Orno is probably closer to 5, 6, 7. Any one of those teams in the top 10 on a given night, if someone's having an off night, can knock somebody off. So it may look like a bad loss. It isn't necessarily like the Rock Ridge loss to Little Falls. That seems to hurt maybe a little bit more than this one does, but it seems to me like there was a lot of bounces that could have went Hibbing's way that didn't, or bounces that went against them, like off the shin pad and off the skate.
Yeah, that's that one. You
just have those nights sometimes, and you got to battle through those. As a coach, you try not to focus on the bad luck because it's things you can't control. The only thing you try to focus on is the work. Are you competing? Are you going through you getting through the battle the way you should, or are you pouting? Are you coasting? Those are only things that if you're a coaching staff, part of the coaching staff, that you'd be able to answer. I couldn't answer that because I didn't watch the game, but those are things that you try to push for when it doesn't seem like it's your night.
Sure. You talked about sickness a little bit. The 2 freshmen, Whitaker, Rearwards, Cole Swans, were out with sickness. And Orno, those slouches, you were talking about the ratings. I went back and looked. We did report it last week. They beat World 4-1.
Yeah.
So now they put it together. So I'm expecting them. They might be a top 3 or 4 team when the rankings come out. Well, today, usually, right? Today?
Usually
they come out.
A couple different rankings. If you look at a Care 11, it usually comes out on a Monday or a Tuesday. Like I said, I like to look at the East Side rankings on the Mid-Hoc Forum. Carl East does that from kind of a Duluth East name, but he does a really good job. He works with hockey at Youth Hockey Hub and does a nice job of putting rankings out. He explains all of his rankings that's really the only one I pay that close attention to because it's backed up with a lot of information.
Some data,
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, anything more on Chisholm-Hibbing?
Nope.
All right, Edina Classic. So yes, you guys, I can't say it was a bad weekend, right?
No, 3 games in 3 days, playing 2 teams that are rated in the top 10 and one that could be rated in the top 10, give or take a few wins or losses. So, it was a good weekend to come out of Edina with 2 out of 3 wins. The first night rolling in, it's always a tough goal when you get against Edina on that, because normally they go through just a grind week of practice and they're just itching to play a game. They hadn't played a game since Saturday against St. Louis Park the 14th, and they were just itching to play a game. They were pounding each other in practice all week. We try to emulate that too on our end. Like we tried to turn it into our own version of Hell Week. Like it was compete all week long, stop and practice and calling people out and making sure that the competition level is where it should be, because you're going to get it out of Edina. And it was a pretty tight game to start off with. I mean, it was within a goal in the first period. It was 1-0, and it just seems like no matter anytime you play Edina, when the Sharks start circling, and they smell blood in the water, it can go boom, 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 just like that. We were on it for quite a while during that game. It was a 1-goal game for a while, and we just couldn't find any offense. Defensively, we were doing fairly well in the first period. This was, if it hasn't already happened, this was a coming out party for Carter Casey. He was unbelievable in that game. I think he had like 35 for 40 shots or something to that extent. I can't even remember it might have even been more than that. But he was unbelievable, and there was a good showing of scouts in the building, which I'm sure they're watching a lot of Edina guys, but they're watching Carter Casey play too. So it wasn't what we wanted the first night. We wanted to compete more on the scoreboard and compete more physically, but we had some good film session the next morning. Showed that, got into the Eden Prairie game the next night, and we were not happy campers after the first period. Eden Prairie's a top 10 team right now, but we feel like we are too, and we don't really care that we're rated in there. I'd rather see us be the underdog all year long and then come out of the bottom and start climbing to the top. So if teams think or feel like, oh, Grand Rapids wants to be ranked or feels like they should be ranked, I just assume we not be ranked, because that puts an even bigger target on your back. So playing against Eden Prairie, that first period was not a good period for us. It was 0-0 after the first period. Again, very lucky that we had Carter Casey in the net to stop some really big point-blank saves in the first period. And it was like a completely different team stepped out on the ice in the second period. We won't mention the things that were said in the locker room in between periods.
So they just come out flat? It's flat?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how well are we prepared mentally before games. And I think our captains are doing a little bit of we need to check ourselves and how we're getting ready for the game, because it's happened a number of times this year where we're not mentally ready before the game, and it takes us a period to get going, and that can't happen when you play top teams. So you get out there, and it's after the first period, it's still 0-0, but then we came out in the next two periods, and we absolutely took control of the game. We come out of that with a win. It was a nice win for us, and gave us some momentum going into the next night against Elk River. We had Ryder Miskovich in the nets against Elk River, and it was awesome to see him get in there. Again, there was a couple of point-blank opportunities for them to score early in the game, and Ryder came up big for us, made the saves that we needed to, and we came out flying there the rest of the game, and it was well handled with a 4-0 win over Elk River. So it was a successful weekend. We just have to, as a group, figure out how to play 3 periods of hockey and 3 periods of compete. And we talk about this. We're into that time of the season, and every team goes through this. But you're looking at this at the end of December going, okay, are we there yet? I think the players look at it like, well, we play all year long for what? For the opportunity to go to the XL Energy Center or make it to the section finals. But you have to embrace the journey to get there. You can't just flip the switch in November and say, geez, I sure wish it was playoff time right now so that we can just worry about the big games at the end of the year. You become a team throughout the course of the year, through the battles, the ups and downs, the adversities, the good things, the bad things. You have to embrace the journey, the pilgrimage, so to speak, in order to get there. So we're not there yet, and you can't look into the future about playoffs. And I think every team goes through that, end of December, mid-January time frame. That, is it February yet? No, it's not February yet. It's end of December. We're inching on the new year, and you still have some very important games, and that goes for every team that's out there playing high school hockey. The seniors especially, you only have so many games left before your high school career is over. And I'll tell you what, I'd give just about anything to play one more game in this building wearing the orange and black and playing in front of 3,500 fans in this building. It's the time of your life. You just enjoy every single moment of it, whether it's at the Memorial Building in Hibbing or whether it's over at the new rink there for Rock Ridge or in Duluth or Yanmar here. You only get to be a high school player one time, and don't rush it. Don't rush it to playoffs. You know, take the pilgrimage, take the journey, and be part of that journey. Be excited about it.
Yeah, 100%. And you're talking about February. You know, the days the days are now getting longer. So
Yeah.
by February, we're really going to notice. That's when you come out of practice, it's still daylight. Then it starts feeling like playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, boy,
Right.
we're getting to the end here. So, but like Coach Larson said, yep, definitely enjoy the journey. Okay, anything else on your weekend?
Nope.
All right, so another matchup, and so these were all Twin Cities matchups. Rock Ridge visited number 3 Rogers. Watch this one. It wasn't a lot of flow. It didn't really get going to the end of the game. 2-1 heading into the third period. Rock Ridge gets a power play right away. Easton Walters bangs one home. They're putting the big body in front of the net there, I see. Shots are 21-21 at the time, so dead even game. 2 minutes ago, Rogers pumps one, 3-2. Minute 14 left. Coach Niskanen, timeout, pulls the goalie for the offensive zone faceoff. A beautiful feed. Dimberio from top of the circle, cross ice to Cass Carlson, top of the circle. He snipes one, ties it up. Going to OT. Rogers actually hits a crossbar in OT with 15 seconds to go, but that's all she wrote. 3-3 tie. Pretty good showing for Rock Ridge down there in Rogers. Ranasat was not the goalie. We've been talking about him. They had Wyatt Janison. Do you know Wyatt at all? Do you know how to pronounce that? Is it Jonathan?
No.
Janison. Anyway, I was really surprised. So they've got 2 in the bullpen. 36 saves. Shots ended up 36 Rogers, 30 Rock Ridge. So the bullpen's looking pretty good. And just a couple of players I want to highlight here. Jackson Bardovich, we haven't really talked about him. 9th grader, logging a lot of minutes, including power play time for Rock Ridge, looking good. Levi Flatley, heard his name a lot. Probably his best game of the year. Derek Dahl, he's one of your guys. Quarterback, MIB football.
Yep.
So I think he's finally getting his hockey legs, playing D's, coming around, and then
Levi Flatley too. He comes from a family of his oldest brother Dawson played.
yeah, he's a Greenway. His dad's a Greenway guy, right?
Yeah, they're a Greenway
yeah.
family, but they've been there forever. I
Yeah.
had Dawson Flatley on one of the last teams that I coached when I was there. So
Okay.
that's his oldest brother. Went to school at Notre Dame. So
Really? Okay.
yeah. Didn't play, but he went there as just to go to school. Really smart, good family, hard worker.
Yeah.
So it's fun to hear his name.
Absolutely. And then one guy, I had to look up, so Easton Walters get to go, kind of looking at his stuff. I think Coach Niskanen kind of got through him because Easton's reputation has been, you get under his skin a little bit, and he's good for 6 to 8 minutes of penalties every game, right? Last year, 40 PIMs. This year, through 10 games, just 8. So, good for you, Easton, and, you know, obviously that'll help the team. So you said last week the Wolverines are starting to get some attention, get noticed a little bit. Thoughts on this one? 3-3 tie, pretty impressive.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to refer back to, if you get an opportunity to look at the Carl East on that
Okay.
Minhawk forums. He kind of had a neat little summary about Rock Ridge. It's like this team is a mystery. Like, so they come out and they play against teams like this where they play like a top team in the state, and they could be a top 5 team or beat a top 10 team in the state, and then they come out against Little Falls or somebody like that maybe isn't rated and can dump one to them. They're a mystery and they're hard to figure out. And to be honest with you, those are the types of teams you need to respect.
Yeah.
Because on any given day, that team can show up if you feel like, you're playing this team or that team and whatever. If anybody's going to come out with that kind of an attitude, you don't know if Jekyll or Hyde's going to show up in that night. And if you've got the one that you fear the most, then they come out, it could be dangerous. And they've got some goal scorers.
Yeah.
They do. They've got Grady Dimberio. They've got Cass Carlson that can put the puck in the net. And like you said, Easton Walters a year ago kind of had his faults where he was in and out of some penalty time and some discipline issues, and that's a big feather in the cap of head coach Matt Niskanen to be able to reel him into a leadership position and sell his discipline and how important he is to be out of the penalty box and be a leader out there and be a big body and a physical presence. It seems to me that that leadership of Matt Niskanen is helping, especially with him. But I don't want to say they're overachieving. I feel like they're playing the way they should be playing right now. But Carl East did say, it's a mystery because some days you you're getting a fantastic team, and some days they're dumping games to teams like, geez, how the heck did that happen? Like I said, that's a little bit worrisome when you're sitting in the seat of Section 7 AA. I mean, Grand Rapids has got their eyes on them, like we're watching you, and we respect you. And teams like Duluth Marshall are watching them and respecting them, and Duluth East and Andover. These teams are watching and making sure they're doing their homework and respecting the teams they need to respect.
Yeah.
So good for Rock Ridge for the accomplishments that they have, and that's the type of team that we're going to be keeping, everybody's going to be keeping an eye on come February.
So did Carl have them in his rankings, or he just kind of like
He was down into like the next 10 with them. So like he ranks the top 15 teams.
Okay.
And then he ranked them, I don't know where he had them, but it was the top 15 teams and then the next 10. And I think they were in that range in Carl's rankings. He kind of had some interesting things to say about Grand Rapids. It's kind of like, they've won some really big games, but have they all won those games, or has Carter Casey won those games for them? It's like, well, whether you want to say Carter Casey's the reason or not, he's part of the team.
Part of the team, right.
So, and that's one way a lot of teams would like to take their business and say we work from the net out as far as developing people. But on our end of things, we say we do have two phenomenal goalies. But we can't lean on these guys all the time.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have to do this where we don't have to worry about them making 10 big time saves in order for us to win a game. But going back to what Carl said, you're not wrong. Like their goaltenders have literally stolen some games from us, but they're part or for us, but they're part of our team.
Yeah.
So
100%.
If you're going to rank a team, you have to rank them because of all the guys that are good on them, not just say, well, Carter Casey won that game for him, or Ryder Miskovich won that game for him. Well, there's 5 other guys out on the ice. They made some big saves, but that's one of the big positions.
Absolutely. Many a team is leaning on their goalie, right? And especially when you go on a run. I mean, you go on a run, you're really leaning still. All right, our final contest, which I almost missed, an LSC matinee on the weekend. Duluth East, well, first off, Phil Verkota drops the puck, the 1980 Olympian. That was pretty cool. Duluth East, Duluth Denfeld at Heritage. OT, the hero, Alexander Udd. Denfeld defeats the Greyhounds 2-1 in OT. Do you know the last time, I didn't have time to look, Denfeld possibly beat Duluth East?
I have no idea when that is, to be honest with you. It could be a long time ago, but I don't remember. But I know this much, that is a big win for Denfeld. That's big, just in the standpoint of it being a Duluth cross-city rivalry with that team. It's huge for them. And I'm sure it's exciting for Coach Jago and the program. And, there's some growing pains that are having to take place right now in Duluth, and I know Coach Patosha is working through those and doing a phenomenal job. It's tough. Duluth is a big city, but it still doesn't seem to me that it's big enough to have 3 fantastic high school programs. Usually there's one that dominates, and it has been Duluth East for years in that particular town. But now you've got Marshall, who's climbing their way into a respectable spot right now in Section 7 AA.
Stella Maris, too.
Yeah, Stella Maris
that's not really
a program. But then they've got their Duluth Marshall, they've got theirs. Denfeld has theirs. East has theirs. And they're all kind of within the same range right now. It's not like one is way higher than the others. And that isn't how it usually works in a smaller community like that. Usually one overpowers the rest.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking kind of along those lines a little bit too. Best thing that AD did, whoever you were, I think it was you, maybe it was a super, about 7 years ago, and they said Denfeld or East, you have to start playing Denfeld. We're taking a road trip off the schedule. We're right here, crosstown rivalry, we're playing. So that was great. This matchup though, Mr. AD, here's an idea for you. This matchup is the Monday after Monday Night Football ends. That's when you play this game. Crosstown, nobody's traveling. The swim team won't have a meet. The Girls basketball won't have a game because it's Monday. Odds are, the boys basketball, Superior's not playing, Hermantown's not playing, Proctor's. They're all going to come to this game. This could be Duluth's Festival of Hockey for one night, Denfeld East. Going forward, I highly recommend just do a Monday night. And like I said, nobody's traveling anyway. Everyone's within 15 miles. Even Superior and everybody. Do a Festival of Hockey. All the other sports can be there. The one time, because of course Duluth East, especially, they're in the cities a lot, just like you guys. It's hard to get everybody together. But do a Monday night, and like I said, let it be a true Festival of Hockey for Duluth. But like I said, best thing they ever did was getting those two back together.
Yep, for sure.
All right, good time to pound the like button. Let's move on to our previews. Any more? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Aspire Heating and Control. Just saw Justin in the building here just a minute ago. They're your local Brian dealer. Brian is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild, who happen to be skidding. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential, and commercial installations available. Services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. They are, of course, licensed and bonded. Give Justin a call, 999-5957, 999-5957. You're having family come up for the holidays. Make sure the vents are clean and ready to go. You want heat in all rooms, 999-5957. But yeah, our Wild, little skid. 3 in a row, is that what I heard?
Yeah, well, they went on quite a big streak there. You gotta expect that it's not going to be perfect for a while, but I like to watch the Wild, but I'm still kind of into watching the Vikings right now.
Okay, yeah, we're going to touch on that.
It's not quite out of the Viking season yet, and then I'll get a little more excited as soon as the Super Bowl's over. As soon as the season's done for the Vikings, I'll push it aside and watch a little more of the Wild.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. All right, so just real quick, we don't know a lot about these teams. International Falls is going to host a trio of games up at Bronco Arena. So Wilmer, Fort Francis, Bagley. Remember they did the remodel. They passed the referendum.
Wilmer.
Wilmer.
Hey,
I almost forgot that when I was writing. I said
make a trip that is
Wilmer.
Holy cow! That is about a 6-hour drive. It's about 4 hours to Wilmer from Grand Rapids. Another hour and a half to 2 hours up to International Falls. That's a
trip. Yep.
So they're Jamie Hagan and the crew there down in Wilmer High School. Good for them for making a trip up there. That'll be fun.
And I believe it's 26th, 27th, 20th. I could be wrong, but just check it. But they are hosting that trio. So yeah, good luck. What are they? Wilmer what?
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Yeah. Okay. Wilmer Cardinals. Okay. So
that's where I started my coaching career.
Oh yes, 100%. That's when I typed it. I thought of that, and I didn't make an extra note. So I'm glad you said Wilmer.
Spent 7 years of my life in Wilmer. It was a great place to play, or a great place to coach, a great place to teach. It's an awesome community. I loved my house down there, and then I got a head coaching job up in Virginia and moved. So I was the first 3 years I was there in Wilmer. I was the head coach. Just a young man, 26 years old when I got it. I was way over my head. Didn't know what I was doing the first 3 years I was coaching. I just kind of did what I thought and wasn't the greatest at it. After the first 3 years, then I kind of decided, you know what? I'm going to get my master's degree. I'm going to take a step back from the head coaching position. So I stepped back, and Dan Tollefson ended up taking the job. He's a business owner in town and an alumni of Wilmer. Well, when I stepped back, he took the head coaching job, and he asked me very personally, I really want you to stay on as an assistant. Do you think you can do that? And I was his first assistant for the next 4 years while I was there. So head coach for 3 years, then assistant for 4 years. Decided to take that gig up in Virginia and spent 7 years there. And now it's been 7 in Rapids.
Jeez.
I know, this is 21st.
That means you're 21.
21st.
You're age 21 now.
Yeah.
It's 7, 7. You're 21 years old
21
already.
years of coaching hockey and teaching.
Well, good for you. Everyone has been lucky to have you. Chisholm Hibbing, also playing host. The Blue Jackets are coming to town. Cambridge Santee Blue Jackets and number 6 Delano. This has been kind of a traditional trip, although somehow it got missed last year. I don't know what happened. Cambridge Santee, Delano, that will be Friday 5, I believe, Saturday afternoon. Friday is the Blue Jackets, Saturday is Delano. And then Rock Ridge plays host to Delano also, and they've got Buffalo coming to town. So I don't think we really know anything about Wilmer, Fort Bagley, Delano, Cambridge, right? Buffalo.
No, we don't get to see a lot of it. I do every now and again kind of watch Wilmer, and it's been kind of a struggle for a couple of years. But it looks like just this season they're a little up from where they've been, the last 5 years. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
It's a tough community to coach hockey because of its level of diversity that's there too. You don't. There's such a range of different cultural situations.
Yeah, because they
in
got
that
the
town
turkey.
Yep.
The turkey processing. Is it Genio or
Genio
something?
turkey.
Yeah.
In town. But you don't.
And they bring in a lot of immigrants.
Yep, there's a lot that are there, but typically what you see, and I've seen this even when I was living there, state championships for the cross country team, state tournament trips for the soccer team. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and even basketball and wrestling used to be real big sports in that town, and hockey's always kind of struggled. But there's been some nice teams in there, and I remember probably the last 2 years. Well, the last year that I was there, we were in the section finals.
Oh, okay.
And we lost in the section finals to Alexandria, and Alexandria went to state, and I was just devastated.
Well, puck bounces. Puck luck.
It does.
Puck luck.
It does.
Puck luck,
Absolutely.
All right. We move on here to our scores and more. If you're like myself and possibly Coach Larson, you're the last minute gift buyer. It is Christmas Eve today, and this will be posted on Christmas Eve. So it is ODR swag for you at Iron Range Apparel in Virginia. New location next to Super One, right on Highway 53. We like to call it the gift buyer's paradise. Like I said, you can find a gift for everybody. They probably even have real cute Christmas sweaters like the one I have on. Like I said, they've got the Hams Bear. They got all kinds of t-shirts and different things with the Hams Bear. They got Minnesota themed apparel, coffee cups, all kinds of what I call knickknacks. So if you're looking for that last minute gift, you can go on their Instagram page, you can go on their Facebook page, or better yet, just go right down to Highway 53 next to Super One, connected to Super One, 741-5138. Holiday hours are posted on Facebook. They are open today. I'm not sure of how long, but this is the gift buyer's paradise for those that you are last minute shoppers. All right, some scores and more. Ely, 4-3 winners over Wadena Deer Creek. Bemidji, another win, 4-1 over Rosso. Warroad, oh, that's an old one. Okay, here we go. 8-0, Cloquet. 6-0 last week. 8-0, Pounds. St. Michael, Albertville, 5-1. Duluth East, 3-2 win over Andover. And incidentally, you know their record?
I do, but I don't even want to say it.
I'll say it. Big surprise to me. One of the guys that helps out Reggie got me this. 0-9 Andover with a loss to Duluth East 3-2. They have lost 5 one-goal games, and things don't get any easier for them as they are back in action the day after Christmas against the Rosemont Irish. And of course, that always gives us a chance to shout out the Rosemont Irish moms, some of the funnest moms in all of hockey in the state of Minnesota. Merry Christmas to all the Rosemont moms. But I mean, I guess everyone has to say, pretty surprised that an 0-9 start for Andover.
Yeah, you know what? I look back at their schedule, and they've got a really difficult schedule. And the fact that you mentioned it, they've lost how many one-goal games?
5 one-goal games.
The puck can bounce in a direction, in the wrong direction so many times, and they've got a little bit younger of a team. We'll see how that shakes out. I am not ruling them out of being somebody that is going to be difficult to play against in the playoffs. So we do see them in February. We go down to Andover. We see them in February on a trip down and back the same day. So we look forward to playing that game and look forward to seeing that 0-9 that you mentioned change. That's going to flip.
Well, it's going to, yeah. And even there was, you can see a couple were by 2. Well, then you're thinking empty net, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they're not getting blown out 6-1,
Nope.
5-1. I mean, that's not the case at all. But I do have to say, and thanks for the help on that and catching that, Reggie. But I had no idea. All right, Rosemont, aforementioned, over Hermantown 4-1. North Shore clocked Mora 3-2. Duluth Marshall clipped Brainerd 5-3. Speaking of that, I talked to a grandfather. His grandson's on Duluth Marshall. He said, you talk about the dog days and the sickness. He said the whole team's hacking right now. I said, grandson said we could hardly hear the coach in between periods because we were hacking so bad. So best wishes to Marshall on getting the flu bug cleared up. Greenway nipped by Ely 1-0. Chisholm hitting hammered by Gentry Academy 6-3. Here's one I wanted to throw in there. We haven't talked about it in a while. The Wilderness of Eveleth. I'm going to start throwing them in there since they're in the area. But they lost to West Bend Power 3-2. And of course, the Walleye Scott CFP Edina Hornets up. We've seen enough of them over the last week, but they ripped Eden Prairie 5-0 on Saturday.
Yeah, they had a couple of big, they beat us 5-0 at a game that we were well outshot in. The next night, Elk River gave them a nice run. It was a 2-1 win over Elk River. So Elk River must have played their best game in that one. And then they come back and then beat Eden Prairie 5-0.
Yeah, well, and you did say last week, you guys can go back and watch the clip. Coach Larson's opinion, Edina is number one, right? I mean,
in my mind, they are, because I haven't up close and personal have not seen St. Thomas Academy play or Hill Murray. Right now, Edina, in my mind, is the benchmark for everybody. If they want to win the state championship, they have to beat Edina.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you, when you start looking at St. Thomas Academy and Hill Murray, they do play in different sections, but out of those two teams, one of them may not make the state tournament. It's kind of like last year when you thought, well, who's the team everybody thought was going to walk through the state tournament and win everything? Minnetonka. They didn't even make it to the state tournament.
Chan beat them.
Yeah, they didn't even make it to the state tournament. So you start looking
That's right.
at
They
some
had
of
all the
these.
5 D1 guys over there.
Well,
right?
and St. Thomas Academy was awesome last year, but they got nipped by Cretin in the section final. So it's like one of those two teams, they're going to be 1 and 2 in the state rankings right now. But I guarantee you that there's a real good chance one of those two teams doesn't make it because someone gets nipped by somebody in the playoffs.
Sure. All right, it's going to be fun to watch. We'll keep an eye on it. Junior college hockey, community college hockey, another way to put it. It used to be big here at one time. And I wanted to bring this up because this changes the dynamic. It pivots the playing field just a little bit here. Wednesday, there was a court decision. It was brought by Vanderbilt quarterback, I don't know if you know this guy, Diego Pavia. Ever heard of him?
No.
I don't follow college football. He wins a decision that JUCO years, junior college years, community college years, are not counted towards NCAA Division I eligibility. So you can play 2 years of JUCO and then still have 4 years to go play whatever sport it is. Something for, because Itasca had Rainey, Hibbing, I know back in the day Mesabi, and the Mesabi Vikings, I think they are. But just something for you ADs that are out there, if you get this, to think about, because there might be a little shift with community college if somebody says, well, heck, I'm going to be a doctor anyway. I might as well I'm not going to lose any NCAA Division I eligibility. I'll go play 2 years and I'll do my 4 over there. So something to think about for some of these programs. Had you heard that ruling?
I didn't hear that, but there's some really interesting things that are happening with college sports right now. And I don't know, I can't speak a lot on it because I don't know the ins and outs and I don't want to misspeak about something I don't know about, but I do know the NCAA has made some really interesting decisions. And when I say interesting, off camera, I probably be a little more colorful about some of the decisions. But now getting to the point where we're allowing players to make money, paying players to play college sports, and now saying that if somebody goes off to play like junior hockey, if they play major juniors in Canada, now they can still be eligible for NCAA. But you know what that's going to do to some of the junior leagues that are in the United States, like the USHL, the North American Hockey League. Any of these junior teams that can't afford to pay players are going to lose players to the OHL, the Q, the Western Hockey League. They're going to get them all. And it's just, the NCAA has a stranglehold on all of this stuff. And it's kind of interesting how, I'm not going to get too negative about it, but you can probably see where my thought process is.
Yeah.
I think it's a mess.
Well, and and it's happening so fast. And a lot of these, what's happened is they haven't, quote unquote, necessarily made it. They're losing these lawsuits. I don't know how all of a sudden these lawsuits, everyone's suing the NCAA and they keep losing.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay, they had to pay. They didn't, the transfer portal where remember you used to have to sit out?
Yeah.
Like when Jason Blake went from Ferris State to North Dakota, he sit out a year.
Yeah.
You play instantly. So
isn't that something?
every player is a free agent every year. That's why I still cannot believe Bill Belichick took that job in North Carolina, because it's like every player is a free agent. They're practically a free agent every day. They'll just leave. You know,
I don't know why I would ever want to be a college coach right now. If I were looking at it as a young man saying I want to coach college, I'd be like, heck no. I want to coach juniors or I want to coach major juniors.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
you got it. It's just amazing the things that are happening right now. Like I said, I don't know enough about it to get ultra critical because I can't sit here. I'll probably sound stupid because I don't know all of it. All I know is it's a mess.
Yeah, it's changing so fast. Like I said, you can't keep track. You don't. That's what you started out with. It's like it's hard to because there's lawsuits and there's still stuff in litigation that is going to come out yet. But yeah, the college sport, like you said, you started with the college sport landscape is changing fast. So it's something to keep an eye on, and we'll try to do our best here at the T with Ms McGill Show to keep you updated. Last week, I got on the phone, talked to the people at Goat Sports, got them to ante up, well, hopefully we're going to ante up quite a bit of money. So, Coach, I need you to do some homework. So we're doing the ad at $5 for every power play goal scored. The Edina Classic was for the Rapids group, so if you send me a text sometime this week or send me a tally. And we're going to do the Buffalo Delano game for Rockridge. We're going to keep track. And then Delano Cambridge for Chisholm Hibbing. We'll get a tally next week, and Goat Sports is going to throw $5 per power play goal into the Adam Johnson Foundation. So go get your power play goals, kids. The Jackson Hole Moose, TJ came up with a little promotion out there, so he already sent $100 to put into the foundation. So they're coming off a big weekend with the Bozeman Stingers. And young men out there, like I said, if you're looking to play some hockey, TJ Thomas on Facebook or get a hold of one of us. We'll hook you up with them. They are still looking for players out in Jackson Hole. And I said it was big crowds all weekend. Like I said, it's one of their rivals to the north, the Bozeman Stingers. Schedule change, January 2nd. The Hibbing Chisholm Greenway game in Hibbing has been canceled. They've added Coach Randolph and Northern Lakes. So January 2nd, so a little schedule change there. All right, Coach Larson, your plans for New Year's Eve. You've touched on this, but we need the full agenda here. Well,
the plane's going to take off on Sunday night. My brother and my nephew and I are jumping on the plane. We're going to fly out to Chi-Town. We're going to do a little touring around Sunday night and Monday and just kind of do a little bit of the city thing. And then Tuesday is the Winter Classic game. So that's going to be the Chicago Blackhawks versus the St. Louis Blues at Wrigley Field. We're going to be bundled up nice and warm outside. We're going to have some hot dogs and some beverages. And we're going to watch hot cocoa.
Hot coffee.
And sit out and watch some NHL hockey outdoors. I'm going to enjoy that experience on New Year's Eve. And then Wednesday, New Year's Day, we get back on the plane, fly home, because we got stuff to do on the 2nd of January. Okay. That will be the Duluth East game.
Yeah, we'll be the Duluth East game. Yeah, you got that coming. Now, I'm trying to think of, I spent a year in Chicago. Oh, I'm not ready for this. Well, first, if you're down there, if you see a little joint called Portillo's, you got to stop in for a hot dog and a chopped salad.
Yeah, we talked about that. I talked to my nephew on the phone last night.
Okay, you got to.
So, yeah, he's like, we got to go to Portillo's.
Got to go to Portillo's.
We're going there.
You got to go. And then I believe they're called Home Run Inn. That was our favorite. There's a lot of pizza joints down there.
Yeah.
And Home Run's got, not as many as like a Subway, but they're around. But Home Run Inn, I would have to talk to my wife for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Well, you have to make sure. My wife told me that I'm not allowed to get on the plane and come home unless I stop at Garrett's, the popcorn factory there. They've got the best popcorn in the country.
I don't know that one. Okay.
Garrett's popcorn, unbelievable. They got caramel corn, they got cheddar popcorn. It's some of the best popcorn in the country. Okay. So she said, don't even think about coming home.
There's a Christmas gift for the wife, right?
Unless you bring me Garrett's.
You got a deal.
So that's the plan. And my nephew already said. My nephew already said we're gonna check into this this old school mafia tour that they do. The Al Capone tour.
I've been to his grave.
Yep. So we might do the Al Capone tour. I'm part Italian. My brother's part Italian, and Alec is kind of excited about that too because he knows that's some of our background. He's like, "Wow, are you into the old Godfather stuff and old mafia type stuff?" Absolutely.
Well, and you
So-
can, it's not that far from downtown. If you map it out, you just Google it, and it tells
Yeah.
you which cemetery it's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's not much. It's just, as a matter
They've
of
got
fact,
kind of a cool tour that you can go on, and they take you walking through kind of this 6-block area and show you this is where this happened and this is where that happened. Here's the diner that this happened at. So it's kind of fun.
that's
You might
awesome.
check that thing out.
Well, keep an eye out. I ran into Jimmy Prunovich yesterday, so he's going to be down because Scotty will be playing
Oh, yeah.
the Blues. So
We're looking
if you
forward to
think
watching
it's him,
Scotty.
it's him. As a matter of fact, he's bringing his skates. He gets to do the family skates.
Oh.
So he said the players better watch out. He's bringing his stick too. So he's
Well, we're going to be there, Jimmy. If you see us, take a look. I'm the guy that looks like Santa Claus, but about 100
Without
pounds
the belly.
lighter.
Yeah, without the
100
belly.
pounds lighter.
All right, you mentioned this just a little bit ago. Vikes Packers Sunday, December 29th. A 13-2 team's a wild card team. That's just hard to.
Boggles my
It's
mind.
getting hard to process. There's not a lot here, but it's still hard to process.
It boggles my mind, but I don't know how many times this has happened in my lifetime where the Vikings have given you hope. I actually feel something different this year with this Vikings squad. I really do, knock on wood. I feel like they find a way to win some of these tight games in the end, and they're battle tested. But coach for the Vikings is the first coach in Vikings history to have 2 13-win seasons.
I did hear
So that was pretty cool to see that happen. Darnold is playing pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's tough when you got the best receiver in the game. I actually kind of giggled a little bit when he got his taunting penalty after that one touchdown, because it's like he scores touchdowns and a lot of the fans wait for his little dance that he does afterwards, and you just see the flag go up in the air, and I'm like, well, whatever. And he's got a big smile on his face, like he knows he's going to get a penalty. It doesn't even matter.
How about the chain? Would you wear the chain?
I wouldn't, because that chain's probably worth more than my truck.
I just can't believe he wears the chain.
I couldn't wear it. At any rate, that Vikings team is going to be fun to watch. I'll put whatever behind it when it comes to the Vikings and the Packers, because I know that the Vikes got to come out on top of that one. It's going to be real interesting when it comes down to the final game against the Lions, because that will be for after they beat the Packers. That will be for the division title. And
where's that one?
Direct bid. I can't even remember.
I can't remember.
I don't
the
remember if
Lions
it's
game.
home
I
or
know
away.
the Packers is home.
Yep.
I guess we'll move on.
I can't
to that
remember
at that
if
time,
it's
but
home or away.
Okay.
Someone can put that in the comments.
Yeah, put that in the comments. I can't remember where they played.
This might be the year to watch the Vikings in the Super Bowl. Keep it going.
Unbelievable. So 2 weeks left of the regular season, right? So
Yep.
this weekend, next week, we'll get in the playoffs there too. Boy, we're starting to use this word playoffs quite a bit.
Yeah, we are. We're getting there. I don't know how we're there yet, but we're almost there.
All right, then lastly, just, Merry Christmas to everyone at Goat Sports, from everyone at Goat Sports. Of course, Coach Larson, Ryan, Coach Kraus, Changa, Bert, Reggie, everyone that helps along the way. Like I said, thanks, Merry Christmas, and thanks to everyone, like I said, for the Adam Johnson promotion they're doing. And with that, anything to add to episode 97?
97, huh?
I'll talk to you off air. We got some ideas we can do for the 100th. We got some ideas floating around.
The post-show chat.
We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
We're not gonna tell them yet,
Okay.
but you're all gonna be invited. So
Sounds good. Nothing other than just have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll be back here after the New Year and talking about some more games. So it's going to be an absolute blast over Christmas break here. I get a little rest and relaxation. Hopefully you do. I know that in the world of finance is probably busy here at the New Year.
the New Year gets busy.
Gets New Year.
Right
New
now,
Year
we got
busy.
10 days. Yeah.
But we'll just make sure that you take your family and give them a hug and tell them how thankful you are for them, and do what you can to be that holiday miracle for everybody in the family.
It truly is the most wonderful time of the year, that's for sure. All right, like I said, last minute Christmas. Can't get it to you by Christmas unless you're in town or something, but we can definitely get you something else for the merch. Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com. $20 for a tee, $45 for a hoodie, $20 for a cap. And we even have some visors in there for $20. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, etc. Buy 2 items, free shipping. Thank you, as always, to the greatest partners on earth: Aspire Heating and Control, The Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Iron Range Apparel, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Zorba's of Grand Rapids, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC, Minnesota Hockey Camps, Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, First National Bank, Chisholm and Cook, and the Jackson Hole Moose Hockey Club. It's the holidays, so get home and hug your mom. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. We will catch you all in the next video.
Would you like to hear about Zorba's specials? On Mondays, it's Micro Monday. All taps are just $4. Tuesdays, $3 tacos and $4 Dos Equis. Wednesdays, personal pizzas, $8 and domestic taps, $4. Thursdays, we have deals on nachos and $5 Surly taps. We offer trivia on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., bingo on Thursday at 6 p.m., and in karaoke Thursdays at 10 p.m.
All right, fellas, you just can't get the hockey itch out of yourself. The college route isn't for you. Community college route isn't for you. The junior hockey route isn't for you. Well, there's still hockey that you can play. Why don't you check out the Jackson Hole Moose out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Take a look at these guys. Full crowds, full hockey, packed houses every night. Get a hold of TJ Thomas on Facebook, and he can get you hooked up with what's going on out there in Jackson Hole.
First National Bank of Chisholm, a full-service bank located in the heart of Chisholm on historic Lake Street, locally owned and operated, serving the Iron Range with integrity since 1905.
Did you know that fascia strength training is great if you have a banged up body and you'd like to heal and get stronger at the same time? Unlike muscle-focused exercise that leaves your body stiff and achy, fascia strength exercise releases muscle tension and fills your body with a spring-loaded power and cat-like agility. Fascia strength is great for athletes and martial artists. If you'd like to pursue this training, take a look at my program, Fascia Strength and Power. I'll leave a link in the description box below.
Yo everybody, it is Puka. Quick merch drop here. As always, a little breezy here. We've got the t-shirts, but now visors, 20 bucks. T-shirts, 20 bucks. Hats. Now these got the patches on them. So let us know also if you'd like to see something different, but Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com, or you instant message. We can do, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all that good stuff. So there it is.